Good morning and or hello, depending on what time you're watching this. And welcome to another episode in the TRC How-To series. I am David and today we'll be discussing how to straight razor shave. So, straight razor shaving for a lot of people could be a little bit intimidating, but it looks much worse than what it actually is. It's actually a very effective, very gentle way of shaving your face, as long as you're willing to invest a little bit of time in order to get the technique. And I'm going to show you just some of the basics to be able to start shaving today. First and foremost, you're going to have to pick out your first straight razor. Now, there's a lot of different avenues you can go. You can go high-end, low-end, vintage, all the other type of stuff. If you're already right here on the Razor Company YouTube channel, you could hit a link down below and check out all the options they have here. What I'm going to be using today is this gold dollar. This particular model is available on the Razor Company website. Well, at least it should be by the time you see this video, along with some other high-end, I wouldn't necessarily say high-end, but also modern production razors. They were made with a little bit more finesse than these gold dollars are, all ranging in different prices. Check it out. You'll be able to see it. So make sure you pick up a razor from a trusted site that you know they're going to provide an appropriate edge to make it shave ready. I can tell you, these gold dollars are appropriately sharp. They do have a shave ready edge on there, and so that's something you could check out, along with some Dovos and other manufacturers along with there, just depending on what budget you're going to do. Now we're going to go ahead and go into this instructional video with the assumption that you already know how to make a lather, that you already have some shave soaps, and you already know this portion of it. If you're not familiar with how to lather, check out some other videos here on the Razor Company YouTube channel. We're gonna have, if we don't already, actually I do believe we do, there is already an instructional video on how to lather. My preferred method is with Badger, but there's also synthetic, horse, boar, and various mixtures of the two. So first, for straight razor shaving, there's going to be some people that'll give you that information, that pack a bunch of water in it, make it super slippery, and you're going to have a better result. In my opinion, I would recommend to you to make a nice, well-balanced lather. You want to pack in enough water to make sure that the lather is nice and slick, but additionally, you don't want to take away from cushion. Cushion, kind of, my way of defining cushion is a protective layer on the skin. If you put a razor on your skin bare-faced, the razor will feel a particular way. With a nice, dense, creamy lather, you're going to feel a difference. You're going to feel like it's just a little bit softer on the skin. That's what I would call cushion. Now, there's no way to measure that, but once you get some experience, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. It shouldn't be that difficult to feel the difference between a razor on bare skin as opposed to one with a nice appropriate lather on it. So after you've gone and already picked up the razor that you decide to choose, now you got to know how to hold this damn thing. Well, it's pretty simple. This one's a little beat up. This is one that I've been using quite a bit, so forgive if you see any marks or whatever. It's been through some wars with me. So first, the proper way to hold it. You're going to want to go ahead and put this, if you're right-handed, which I am, I'm going to start with my right hand. You're going to go ahead and make this kind of like backwards L. Scales pointed upwards, toe of the blade facing the inner portion of my face. I like to put 2 fingers right here on the tang. Stick 1 or 2 fingers on the tail, depending on the size of fingers and whatnot. I'm going to go ahead and put the toe towards my ear, rest the spine of the razor on my skin, nice and flat, and then go ahead and rock it to about anywhere between 18 to 30 degree angle. I'm going to hold my skin from this angle up here, slightly tug it up so I can make sure everything's nice and tight, and I'm going to do nice, short, clean motions all the way down my face. Especially if you're going to start towards the ear, make sure you're mindful of how close that blade is getting towards the ear. It is very easy to kind of nick yourself here or on the earlobe. So just take it nice and slow. You're not getting any extra points in your restroom shaving quickly. Well, maybe the wife might appreciate you getting the hell out the restroom a little faster, but in terms of your end result, fast or slow doesn't make a difference. So keep that going all the way through the skin, walking it closer and closer towards the middle of your face. I do have a goatee, so again, just like you're being mindful of the ear, you're going to want to go ahead and be mindful of the goatee. So since I like to line that up, I'm going to go ahead and once again get that edge lined up to the end of my hair. And make a nice sharp line. Same thing with the neck. I'm going to want to just kind of anchor it. If you start stretching the skin too much, you're going to start making like divots and dents into the skin. I just like to make sure that I have a little bit here, pull up slightly, and just to make sure that the skin is nice and taut. If your skin's loose, especially if you're an older gentleman, you can actually get the skin to tug a little bit, especially with denser hair. It'll skip and you could cause some minor cuts. When you're doing these strokes, you want to make sure you're applying zero pressure. Allow that blade to just rest on your face and run with the angles. Super light. The only pressure that you should be putting should be towards the hair. So instead of pushing down here, you want to be pushing downwards to make sure that the blade gets through the hair. It should be very limited. And any pushback if the edge is in fact shave ready, which again, these razors are going to be. There you go. Now, once again, I'm going to put it now. Once I'm using my left hand, I'm going to get that L shape to the appropriate way that you would be reading it or writing it on a piece of paper. Again, 2 fingers up here, 1 down here to make sure you have a nice counterbalance, and get the fingers resting here. Once again, bring my hand over the head, stretch the skin slightly, and go ahead and run it. Once you're a little bit more comfortable, you can make these longer strokes, but when you're beginning, these shorter strokes will help you be able to keep up with the changing angles and the curvature of your face. What some people have a tendency to do is when they do those long strokes, the farther into that long stroke they get, the more pressure they're applying downwards. And you don't want to do that because again, you can start grabbing, you're going to start getting some nicks, cuts, and whatnot. Same thing down here, pulling up my goatee like this and angling my head up. Make sure it's nice and tight. And you're just running with it. Again, once again, light pressure, nice and simple, nothing fancy. Don't rush. Again, speed isn't going to earn you any points in terms of this shape. Then we're going to go ahead. I like to dip my brush again, reapply. And if you're daring enough, now we'll go ahead and get into the against the grain pass. These 2 grips are all you're going to need to be able to straight razor shave. Now, if you want to do some other fancy stuff, try some advanced technique, so to speak. We're not going to get into that today, but this is just the other technique, the other basic grip that you can use to go against the grain, or what is typically against the grain for most people. So now what I'm going to go ahead and do, now I got that upside down now. Right hand, the toe is still pointing inwards. I'm going to pinch grip. Use my thumb and my index finger to hold the tang of the blade. I'm going to go ahead and angle my head nice and high. Make sure I can still see myself in the mirror. Anchor your skin down below here. And nice, slow, choppy strokes. Once you start getting to that jawline, that could get a little tricky, especially when you're just beginning shaving. You could pull that down a little bit. Okay. Pulled it down a little bit, gave it a little bit of a flatter surface, and now I could run with it. Continue to move my fingers upwards as I get away, from the places I've already shaved. Again, once you're comfortable, Get a nice long stroke in. Bam. Rinse off that blade. You can wipe it. Some people like to have a towel to wipe the blade off. I just run it under some water, angled this way. So the water would hit here, runs the lather all the way down. Keep some of that water away from the pin, and also keeping your fingers a little bit more dry. Nice and simple. Because of my goatee, I get a little bit of lather on my hands on that pass right there. Not nothing to worry. You do want to try to get that off because it will make it a little too slippery, and you want to be able to come back. You really don't want to drop your razor, especially if you're barefoot. You could do a little damage on the toes. And there we go. And once again, because I like to run in that line nice and tight into my goatee, just kind of bring the razor in. A little bit more of an advanced technique that you'll go ahead and figure out at a later time. Maybe we'll do another instructional video. But there we go. Your basic with the grain grip. 2 fingers on top, 1 on the bottom, resting 1 finger onto the tail for a nice little counterbalance. Or again, against the grain, nice little pinch grip. Makes it really maneuverable going up against the grain. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them down below. If you are interested in seeing more tutorial videos like this, go make sure you like, share, subscribe. Check out some of the playlists that we have on the Razor Company channel. You'll be able to catch up on, again, how to lather, how to maintain your blades, all kinds of different tutorial videos. You should definitely check those out. If you are interested in seeing more of my content, you can go ahead and find me on YouTube here under So Sharp David. Love to have you. If not, it's all good. No hard feelings. But that's the end. We're done. Hopefully this little quick tip could just kind of get you, not even quick tip because it's already, we're 12 minutes in, but you can go ahead, start straight razor shaving today. Limited fuss, a little bit less issues. Again, if you stick to those techniques, practice consistency, you're going to be shaving great. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse this off. We're done. You guys don't need to see the whole rinsing of the face. That's kind of unnecessary. I don't think at this point you really need a tutorial on how to splash water on your face. So thank you guys for joining me. We'll go ahead and catch you on the next shave.